What's going on, everybody? Great job up to this point. I just want to check in because we are starting to move into a little bit more of a progressed version of our nutrition protocol with the Ready to Win program. We're going to start trying to utilize a carb cycle. On our carb cycle, still the most important things when we're doing our nutrition protocol is that number one is that we fall within our caloric range. Okay, we want to hit those calories. Number two is going to be hitting the macronutrient protein and making sure that we're 1 gram per pound at the minimum every day if possible. That's the number one thing we want to look at with our macros, is hitting our protein, because protein is the number one macro for recovery and the number one macro for building muscle. So we want to keep an eye on that and make sure that we hit that on a daily basis. Then what we'll do is let the carbs and the fats kind of fall into place. Now, on a higher carb day, your protein is going to stay the same, your calories are going to stay the same within that range. The only thing that's going to change on that high carb day, your carbs are going to be a little bit higher. So we would like to shoot for 10% over what your percentage goal is. If we don't get to that 10%, because that can fluctuate depending on what else we eat, then just make sure you're over the gram goal for your carbs that day. Now, that doesn't mean go over your calories. I would much rather you miss your high carb day and hit your calories and your protein than eat extra food and go over your calories, unless your goal is to gain size and muscle, which then it's okay if you overeat into a caloric surplus. If you're one of those individuals we've already talked and you kind of already know, we're looking for dropping weight and dropping body fat, then we want to maintain that deficit so that we can continue to lean out, even on high carb days. Remember earlier we talked, carbs don't cause us to gain fat or gain body weight. It's the excess of calories. So that's what the main thing is. That there's tons of studies, there's meta-analysis behind it. We've talked about it in our literature that we've given you recently, but that's what we want to focus on, is the calories on those high carb days first, and then protein. Then you can hit that high carb portion. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday are moderate carb days, which means just hit what your macro goals are. Friday, we're back onto a high carb day. So on a high carb day, obviously we're going to be shooting over that carbohydrate goal again, while still maintaining calories and protein. And then Sunday is going to be your low carb day. Now, low carb day doesn't mean we necessarily want to eat under our calories. If it happens, it happens. We still want to hit our protein. We still want to hit our calorie range. But on a low carb day, you're going to be 10% under your carb goal and 10% over on your fat goal. So we'll be a little bit higher on our fats. So like I said, if we don't hit that percentage, you're aiming to be over on your gram goal for fats and under on your gram goal for carbs on that low carb macro day. So that's what we'll be looking for as we go on. Like I said, if we miss the carb timing and stuff like that, it's not as big of a deal. It's kind of icing on the cake. The main thing we're focusing on is those calories in, calories out, and then we're going to be focusing on that protein macro goal. Once we get those established and we're doing a good job at hitting those, then we'll move on to cycling those carbohydrates between high, low, and moderate days. All right, guys, win the day, and I'll talk to you soon.